Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thank y'all so much for stopping by the live stream again. I really appreciate it. Shout out to the NTZ crew. That's Jacob Tanjay. Thank you, brother. Roger Walker from the fourth quarter, my fourth quarter members. Thank you, brother. We did spin the wheel last night 5 times. 4 people have come forward. We really appreciate that. Waiting on the fifth winner. I always post the winners on my Sunshine Shoulders Facebook page. What's up, Jeff Retada? Raymond? Any old heads on here? I don't see Doubtful Genius yet, but I'm pretty sure they're going to show up. Thank y'all for hanging around for 5 years, over 5 years. There's Darling May, an old head. Any new viewers and subscribers joining the live stream for the first time today? What's up, I Love LaChon? Kamal? We want to welcome y'all to the live stream. Anybody catching this on replay, the peso is 58.73. Don't be disappointed about that. That's a great rate. One of the highest that I've seen. It don't get too much higher than that. I think the record was 59.17 set a couple of weeks ago. I'm looking for that 60 pesos. We always have a topic. Today's topic is put some insurance on your future life. But we can talk about anything. And y'all know it always gets off topic anyway. But that's something that we can always come back to. But this is your live stream. Whatever you want to talk about, put it in the comments and I'll get to it. I made a video about more men are dying prematurely now than before. And everybody knows that men die prematurely for a lot of reasons. But the number one reason, according to the people who track this stuff, ladies and gentlemen, is lifestyle choices. And some guy says, I know guys who live a healthy lifestyle, they die prematurely. And then some woman in my comments was talking about, if you just don't hurt the woman and your family, you won't have that to worry about. And if you die, it's irrelevant. Okay, nobody wants to die sooner than they're supposed to. If we just make better lifestyle choices, you're probably going to live, you got a better chance of living a longer, more productive life. I mean, is that so hard to understand? Why do we always have to push back? You know why? Because we spend far too much time talking about other people instead of keeping the focus on ourselves and what we have to do. So yeah, people get upset when you make suggestions about things that they should be doing that they're not doing. Hit dogs cry or yell. But if you out here eating booty, that's a lifestyle decision. That's a lifestyle choice. If you out here selling methamphetamine, okay, that's a lifestyle choice. If you joining gangs and joining the mafia, that's a lifestyle choice. Make better lifestyle choices. Okay, that's all that is. Oh, okay, so I see W Secrets of Success is no longer part of the fourth quarter member, okay? Thanks, brother. I appreciate you. Hey, Jose Ortiz, thank you. But that's all we want to really talk about today. What can you do to put some insurance on your future life? I mean, why do we want Earl all up in our bed? Why do we want Earl driving our car? Because everybody has or had an Earl in their life. And if you didn't, you're lying. Thank you. Yeah, it's a lifestyle choice. If you're honest, everybody's had an Earl. The man who took your place. and you went back over there to the house, and he's sitting on your couch looking at your 80-inch screen TV, going in and out of your refrigerator, benefiting from all your hard work and sacrifice. You don't have to die to have an Earl in your life, but if you're honest, you got an Earl. Okay, I'm sorry. You know, I was, if you look in the comments, there's a guy saying, man, you right about Earl. He said, a good friend of his that he's known for 30 years. He said he never saw him angrier than when he went back to see his kids and Earl was there, the new boyfriend. Okay? That's all I'm saying. I've seen it up close. Okay? Because women don't seem to have a problem sleeping with another man in the bed you bought. At least a man will go out somewhere. The hotel, whatever it is. I'm not justifying anything. But I'm saying a woman has no problem with screwing a man in the bed you bought, knowing you bought the bed. I guess she does it to try to get back at you. But they don't think twice about it. Yeah, he said that was up. Well, we've all had it. Taking credit for stuff you've done. You know what I'm saying? Hosting his friends and family in your house. The house that your credit bought. That you were paying for all those years. And then you're going to act like, oh, it don't matter because I'm not there anymore. Bullshit. Yeah, everybody knows it's true, man. That's why people get mad when you talk about real life stuff like that. It hurts, man. Even if you don't want to be with a woman, see, because I filed for divorce from my American wife. I left. But it don't make me feel any better to see this man behind the wheel of my brand new convertible. It didn't make me feel any better. Because it was in record time. So I knew she was doing it to try to stick a needle in my eye. Because every chance they get, they're throwing Earl up in your face. Bragging about it. He's the best thing that ever happened. He says when Earl starts driving your car, you can call him Motor Earl. Yeah, he's raising your kids. Disciplining your kids. Now, I know that pisses you off. Screaming and hollering at my kids. But we won't act like it don't happen, like Earl don't exist. And the women get mad because they know they got Earl over there right now. Like I said, the Earl that she put in my place, he didn't have a job. Still living with his mother, But that's just how it is, guys, If you remove yourself prematurely from the situation, with your lifestyle choice, making bad lifestyle choices, gambling at the casino when you should be paying the bills, that's a lifestyle choice. Eating a chitlin casserole. Because they said, poor diet and nutrition, no exercise. If you don't believe me, look it up. They're saying sitting down for long periods of time, sitting on your ass, will literally kill you. But we too busy worrying about Trump and Shadua Sanders and all that stuff to even take 1 minute to focus on ourselves and what we really need to get ahead. What's up, Ron? Yeah, they just treat him like he's your father. Some of us are Earls. But I don't consider a guy Earl if he's standing on his own 2 feet. If he's the one taking business, usually Earl, he's just over there taking advantage. Yeah, he said sitting on it for an 8-hour gig is the new smoking. It will literally kill you sitting on your ass. Look it up if you think I'm playing. But we don't exercise at all. Smoking is a lifestyle choice. Drinking is a lifestyle choice, ladies and gentlemen, whether you believe it or not. So yeah, we know that men die from genetics and all of that, societal factors. We tend to have more dangerous jobs and all that stuff. But if you out there selling meth on the corner and somebody comes by, your competitor, and shoots you down and you die prematurely, that's a lifestyle choice. He said, cool thumbnail, Cal. Yeah, that's Earl. That's Earl right there. Yeah, that damn chitlin casserole. And you know, everything is, you know, it's a hip thing now to eat booty. I'm not going to eat a booty. But y'all do it because everybody else is doing it. I'm not going to stick my tongue in no woman's behind. I don't care how good it might make her feel. It ain't that much love in the world. But it all got me, you know, when Jim passed, man, got me to thinking about all of this. Now, I just want to let y'all know that, you know, me and Jim were not the best of friends. Okay? But we spent time together, man, getting to know each other, talking, going out to dinner, you know, 3 or 4 times. You know, he's with his woman, I'm with mine. He stayed at my house, ate at my dinner table, you know, sung karaoke in my living room. So when he died, it touched me, man. You know, people die every day, but I don't know him. We don't go out together and sing karaoke and play pool and all that other stuff. They don't say, hey, man, you were influenced on my life. One of the lifestyle choices I made. Yeah. So it got me to thinking. He's 60 years young, man. And he's talking about, oh, well, if you die, it's irrelevant. Yeah, but who wants to die ahead of time? When all you got to do is make better choices that we don't want to make. See, Agmendino said, we're a slave to our habits. So if you're going to be a slave to your habits, then cultivate good habits. Develop good habits. We don't want to do that, man. It's tough to put them cigarettes down. Tough to stop drinking and all that stuff. So that's why we don't want to do it. If it was easy, everybody would do it. But we don't want to do it. So let's talk about some things that you can do, we all can do to put some insurance on our future self. But first of all, yeah, we're getting ready to get this CRBA behind us. We'll be in Manila this week taking that DNA test. Once that's done, it's a wrap. Now, if they come back with some bullshit, you know, then it's really going to be some trouble. So, yeah, we'll be in Manila this week. I'm going to reach out to, you know, some of my friends and subscribers up there. Maybe go out to dinner or something. Raymond, Cos, Richie Rich and Chain. Yeah, we're going with expiration date, but do you realize that I would take my chances, Raymond, with a healthy lifestyle? I want to live longer. Nobody wants to die. Because the guy says, well, you live 85, you live to be 85. Look, if you live past 80, okay, you've won. Chalk it up to the game. You won. We're talking about dying at 60, man, and 70, and 50. Okay, yeah, everybody has an expiration date. But who wants to die at 45? He said, Cal, isn't the answer to not take and leave all your wealth to the Philippines or to the Filipinos? What are you saying? To the Filipino, I mean. Because see, we're a lot of us are doing that stupid stuff over here. If the woman is not married with you over 5 years, if the law is 5 years, then she probably don't deserve everything you got. Does she even deserve it? There's somebody in your family tree, your children, grandchildren, somebody that should share in that. You know, these guys over here are we're such whipped, simps that even if you're not married, they'll say, oh, you should leave the woman better off than how you matter. Yeah, if you got skins in the game, you got children. If you ain't got no damn children, you're not responsible for that. Get a job. Okay, I'm sorry. But they'll just make those rules. Those are, just rules that expats make up over here. I'm not sure, but it seems to be that they are. I thought they were a couple. I'm not really sure. I'm going to interview them. They interviewed me. That's my turn, but I'm going to put them on the hot seat. I'm going to ask them that. But I'm thinking that they are. He said, we still want to maximize our potential. Yeah, that's what I'm telling Raymond. Yeah, everybody's going to die. But nobody wants to die or be in a damn assisted living home or even worse, in a nursing home because we made some bad lifestyle choices. Who wants to do that? I don't. I want quality over quantity. But the very first thing they said that you can do to put some insurance on your future self is to set clear goals. And this is going to be, people don't like to listen to stuff like this because it's easier to do nothing, man, than to try to improve your life. We think all we need is a job and to pay our bills, okay, and child support and all of that and be responsible. And that's it. Now, it's a whole lot more than that. This bores people because they're not going to do it. It says set clear goals, short term or long term. And then it says exercise regularly. These are in order, by the way, of what the experts tell you to do. If you want to improve your life today, you don't, not way down the road, right now. I don't hear them. Yeah, I think that may have come from the winner. Just one of the winners just came here. And over here, Michael, dogs are a very cheap alarm system. If you want to invest in CCTV and all that other stuff that people do, just get you a couple of good, dependable dogs. Swiss Gear says, one of my coworkers just passed. Worked with him 10 years at Yellow Freight. He did 26 years at that company. He was 65. Crazy. We all have a story, brother. Thank you for sharing this because it's always the other guy. We'll make excuses. Oh, everybody's got to die. Oh, people were in good shape, die prematurely. Oh, when you're dead, what difference does it make? But we're not dead. We're trying to squeeze every minute that we can out of life. Nobody wants to die ahead of time. And I'll take my chances living a healthier lifestyle. Because better lifestyle choices, more than likely, man, you stand a better chance of living longer and more productive. And a better quality, man. I'm not here to debate you. You can either do it or you don't. But Earl's going to be in your future, guys. He said, Unc, I didn't know you was on. Yeah, this has been advertised for about 3 days now. What's up, Soul Snatcher? He said, I'm getting closer to my settlement. I'm already getting vision to my trip to the DR. Okay, so it says exercise regularly. It says even a short walk. Listen to this, guys, because you can do this today. Can boost your mood and your health. I'm gonna put it out tomorrow. People think you got to go to the gym and you got to be Arnold Schwarzenegger and all that. No. What is the Chinese proverb? A journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step. It says a short walk. Sitting on your ass will kill you. And that's what most of us do. Then it says eat healthily. It says a balanced diet rich in fruits, vegetables. Okay, that's simple, right? Just add fruits and vegetables to your diet. Oh, Osiris is on here. What's up, Osiris? He says it's to make positive changes. They don't have to be dramatic, little by little. Absolutely. That's what I just said. Just get started. But we won't get started. We rather talk about Trump and everybody else. Shador Sanders, and we're so invested in that. I don't get it, man. We're more invested in other people's lives than in our own life. Okay, but number 4, meditate. You don't have to be some Buddhist monk or something. Just lay on your back, okay? Because I've got 2 apps downloaded. One is called Happiness and one is called Calm. And that's what they tell you. The reason people don't meditate because they think, oh, you got to sit in the yoga position and you got to be profound. No, just lay on your back, breathe in, close your eyes, get comfortable, breathe in and out. Focus on the breath. That's all you want to focus on. Whenever you veer off from that, just come back and start over again. Learn to do that 5 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day. It says right here, it says, engage in meditation to reduce stress and improve mental clarity. We don't even try it because we think you got to be profound with it. Just lay on your back, on your bed, or sit in a comfortable chair. Close your eyes, breathe in and out, and focus on your breath. You're not going to do that perfectly. You're going to veer off and start worrying about where's your girlfriend, what I'm going to eat for dinner. Once you figure out, I'm doing that, go back to focusing on your breath again. You're going to get better and better, man. Take it from somebody that knows, okay? Number 5 is read daily. See, y'all think I just be on here talking. This is stuff that I do, but this is what the experts are saying. This isn't my list. It says commit to reading at least 20 minutes a day. And if you don't know how to read, learn how to read because that's coming up. Okay? But it says read daily. Not every other day, not once a week, every day. Commit to reading 20 minutes. That's nothing. Number 6, build a support network. This stuff is sounding familiar to people who follow my channel because that's what this is right here. The 4th quarter membership, the Sunshine Shoulders community, the 8,000 Mile Club. They say right here, it says network or connect with friends and family. I said associates. Surround yourself with positive influences. People who are trying to go the same place you're going. Who believe in you and your dreams. When you tell them, hey, I want to start a business. Or I want to lose 20 pounds. They don't laugh at you and say, oh man, you're never going to be able to do that. Yeah, Earl, there's an Earl. Every man, if he's honest, has had an Earl. Or you might be Earl. But Earl is real. He's the guy that takes your place. You built all this stuff up. Imagine I was married for 18 years. The last 13, I'm grinding. I'm balling, man. Okay, building up all this stuff. The big house, the cars, everything. So when I walk away, here comes Earl. He don't even got a job. If you're honest about it, there's an Earl in your life, or he's been in your life, or you might be Earl. Number 7 is learn a new skill. Remember, if you don't know how to read, learn how to read. It could be a hobby. It says right here, a new language, a professional skill. Because what that does is it says it can boost confidence and creativity. But we think all we got to do is get up and do nothing. Oh, it's my life. You can put some insurance on your future self today if you wanted to. But we want to focus on everybody else. Or not only that, we want to attack the messenger. You know, some old weave-headed woman got in the comments. I'm like, well, if you guys don't desert your families, that's not, it's always the man's fault. And she got on somebody else's hair on her damn head. You know, talking about, well, why you worrying about another man stepping in? No, you shouldn't be worrying about another man stepping in. I said, yeah, you know a lot about stepping in. All that stepping she done did with that old elephant pussy she got. Women are always, these Western women are always trying to speak for men. Shut up and quit meddling. You all in my comments. He said, Joseph Ralph said, when I meditate, I usually fall asleep, which is good, means you're doing it right. You're relaxing. But number 8 is prioritize sleep. Funny you said that. 7 to 9 hours is what they're saying. That's ideal. It's essential for physical and mental health. But we stay up late. He said, besides Cal, Killer Mike is the only one who emphasized knowing your local officials from City Hall to the school board. It's not a popularity contest. Yeah, we can't name one person on the school board, city council, but then we want to get upset. You don't even know who your school board superintendent is, or your school superintendent. What's up, Unfiltered Black Abroad? He said, what took you so long to live stream? What do you mean? I'm retired. I'm not on a schedule. That's a good thing about retire. You know, I come and go as I please. Okay, I'm not on anybody's schedule, okay? Okay, he said I'm getting ready to play basketball, which is good. Okay, number 9. Limit screen time, social media and television. It says set boundaries on social media and television. Can you do that? Can you say, okay, an hour a day, no more than 2 hours a day, am I going to waste? You're wasting precious time on social media because social media is so ignorant. I already told y'all. And YouTube is if it hasn't surpassed Facebook, no, I won't say that. It's getting just as worse when you read the comments. Go on Facebook and then come to YouTube and read the comments. It's getting just as bad, if not worse. I don't know how y'all do it. You know, the only reason I read my comments because guys really be coming over here and they really want to say, hey, Cal, hook up with me or whatever it is. That's the only reason I'll peek in my comments, but I don't go all the way down them because there's a lot of ignorance in those comments, man. You know, social media, man, is really done a job on us, guys. I promise you. He said it is funny and irritating to me how some women think they know more about what it takes to be a man than the average man. Yeah, she's all up in my comments meddling. Lady, how you going to speak for a man? You got Earl all up in your house, all up in my bed. You know, but hit dogs holler. That's what they say. You guilty. Oh, tight head B. You know, you want to be disrespectful, but you're going to be disrespectful to me. Like they really know you. So they put us all in one basket. Oh, you shouldn't have deserted your wife and kids. Like, you don't even know me. But this is social media. And if you want to deal with that stuff, man, I'm gonna tell you this Shedeur Sanders, I don't watch anything with his name in it. It's too stressful, man. People are fighting, man. You see that, man, America's so divided. We're divided about something like that. Like, why are you so invested in his success and his failure? Trump's success or his failure? Just put the name in the, fill in the blank with somebody's name other than your own. Yeah, she got all that old glue and shit in her head. She done glued somebody else's hair in her head. It's a sure sign when they got the part down the middle. You old tackhead, that ain't your hair. But yet you got the answers for my life. Learn how to grow some damn hair. I'll be proud of your own hair you got. He said proper perspective for most is like a leaf in the wind. No center. Only until the tornado comes when most center themselves. Often it's too late. Yeah. When you can just do a little bit every day. Step by step. He says, Elon, there's a good one. Yeah, just put it in there. We're focused on the Epstein files. You might be in the damn Epstein files. But it's not going to change, man. It's not going to make your life any better. It's only going to give you a headache. You see what happened, okay? I don't know what town this was in. But the young lady who got shot by the police, the young pregnant girl who got shot by the police and killed. She was pregnant, supposedly stealing liquor, and all this, right? Oh, man, it's more division. The grandmother, they got her crying. They had to escort her out of the courtroom because they found the police innocent. And if you get caught up in that stuff, man, you'll start worrying about stuff that it doesn't even bother you. You don't even know the lady. Yeah. That's one of the things people like about Filipinos, and they don't realize it, is their authenticity, their realness, their natural beauty. But hell, now they over here with these damn long-ass eyelashes. Okay? Some of them wear that stuff. I already told Marilyn, don't put that stuff on me. It's your life, but if you want to run me away, put that stuff on your face. That's why I'm here. I don't want that old fake ass stuff. Even nails. Some of them are wearing fake nails. Like, I'm sorry. I'll keep going. I don't want that. Number 10 is volunteer. Give back. Give back. Remember, there's laws in place here. When you help other people, you help yourself. But give back. He said, men's mental health is very important, though many are afraid to talk about it. You're absolutely true about that. But we'll move in with a woman, a stranger. That's going to add to your stress and your mental health issues. We don't even get to know them. Living with another human being is stressful. You're stressful on them, they're stressful on you. Yeah, no artificial stuff. But yeah, if you look at these 10 things, you don't even have to do them all. Just adopt a few of them into your life a little bit at a time, and then until you look on that list and be like, man, I'm doing all this stuff in my life. It's gotten better in increments, not all at once. You didn't get in the situation you in all at once. You didn't gain 30 pounds all at once. So you're not going to lose 30 pounds all at once. But I'm a big reader of autobiographies and self-help. Dorothea Brand, this is your assignment, man. Get the book, Wake Up and Live. If you can get the physical book, it's just a small book. or read it on Amazon, on the Kindle. But in her book, Wake Up and Live, she stresses the necessity of taking action to achieve your goals. She said, mere wishing is not enough. See, a lot of us will sit around. Remember, now this is totally different from this list. The first thing up there was set clear goals. That ain't going to do you no good if you don't take any action. If you just have a list of goals and you don't work toward achieving the goals, it's not going to do anything. That's what she said. She emphasizes persistence and the importance of persevering in the face of challenges, because you're going to have challenges, man. But we give up. We give up. The minute a challenge or obstacle comes, you're done. This is nature's sifter. How bad do you want that new house or whatever it is your goal is, or to lose that 30 pounds? And then here comes an invitation to a birthday party. And you got that nice cake, Coke, and all that other stuff you ain't supposed to be eating. But that's nature's way of sifting out the pretenders from the contenders. How bad do you want it? What lengths are you going to go to achieve it, man? You got to take some action. That's one thing I can say about expats over here. Whether they won or whether they lost or somewhere in between, they took that first step. They got on that plane and came over here. Okay? Hey, what's up? Yeah, hope is not a strategy. What's up, Sheldon? Yeah. This is a great book because, I Googled the summary of the book. And it says to awaken to your potential and act deliberately to shape your life. See? There's one thing we don't do. What's up, Michael Onstad? This is a perfect topic for you. This is the resident health insurance agent in the Philippines. Because we're talking about men are dying. More men are dying prematurely now than before. Going out and taking action and getting some health care coverage instead of just sitting around talking about it. If you look in my description of all my videos, his information is going to be there. And then when this one's over with, it's going to be in the description. How to contact him. Thanks for that super sticker. That's a lifestyle choice. Going to the doctor on a regular basis. Yeah, but this is the reason they do it, Cal. This is what we were talking about. He said, Calvin, don't think of these videos and people that make negative videos about other vloggers. Some of them are sick people. We spend far too much time focusing on other people's lives. They do that because they don't want you focusing on their life. You got to look at the author. Look at the messenger. Okay? Whenever you see one of these negative videos, look at the person behind it. And then you'll learn all you need to learn. Successful people don't do that. Happy people don't do that, man. Like you said, only sick people, miserable people who don't want to do anything to improve their own life. They want to keep the focus on me and other people. Jealousy is a form of insanity. And then when you find out about them, see, they look at Sunshine shows. Don't look at me. I'm on disability. Look at my woman. And don't look at my woman. Don't look at my life. Look at somebody else's life. That's the only reason they do that stuff. That's why it don't bother me. But don't come in my face with it. You can make all the videos you want. I don't know you. Okay, you're a stranger. But come up in my face. I got something for you. Any of them. Okay? Yeah, Sheldon, you got on that. You got on the plane and came over here. Yeah, successful people don't do that. What successful person do you see hating on somebody? They're too busy living the good life that they worked hard for, that they created. Yeah, they need content, but it's beyond that. Because a lot of these guys, they ain't getting no views and stuff. They don't have a following. They're not doing any good. That's just for entertainment. They're entertaining other miserable people. Yeah, he got put off. You know, there's laws to the universe. All them videos he made about me, I never responded. Because the universe is much more powerful than I am. Universal law and principle is much more powerful than me. Be careful when you out there doing that kind of negative stuff. It's going to act like a boomerang and come back and cut you to shreds. But y'all don't believe it. You think you're not doing any harm. Whatever you put out there in the universe is coming back. So try to put positive stuff out there. You know, he could have had a decent channel. But he chose to be a troll. Okay? But that goes for anything, man. What you put out there is coming back. That's all. If you don't believe it, okay. Remember, the longer it takes, the greater the punishment. And when you do something good to somebody, don't worry about it. Don't fret. The longer it takes, the greater the reward. Universal law is irrefutable. Yeah, jealousy is a form of insanity. He said, hey, Cal, do you think having your financial house in order is the key to reclaiming your freedom, or is it something else? That's part of it. But it's crazy how, okay, I put in there, what are the top 10 things that men can do to put some insurance on your future self? And money wasn't even in it. It was nothing about money. But of course, you know, a good financial plan will give you that freedom, that peace of mind. But it's funny that that's not even on here. But I guess if you do all this, money's going to be there. Remember I said on the video that people don't think you're successful because you may not have a whole lot of money. We equate success with having a whole lot of money or power or prestige. When that's not true. What's up, TJ? Yeah, it's all universal law. But I have to give men credit, man, who got on the plane and came over here. Now they can see for their own self. Think about yourself sometime, man. Don't worry about your damn job. They give you 2 weeks and then they don't want you to take it. You can only take 1 week at a time. The last real job I had, I was working with WellCare. I had 3 weeks. Well, we really didn't have, you know, vacation like that, right? Because we were insurance agents, but I took 3 weeks, man. My manager tried to get mad. I said, you crazy, man. Don't ever contact me like that again. I'm the top salesman. The top 5 salesmen you got from me. You know I don't take no time off. I came over here for 3 weeks, man. What's wrong with you? Yeah, the law of reciprocity. When you help other people, you help yourself. That's what that is, the law of compensation. Yeah, that's part of it, of that freedom. But what rich man right now on his damn bed wouldn't give it all away for one more day because he wasn't making better lifestyle choices? Elvis Presley was what, 42 when he died? Michael Jackson was what, 50? These men died prematurely, man, because of their lifestyle choices. Effing with those drugs. You know, they had money, man. They had financial freedom. Yeah, it's the same thing, though. It's irrefutable, man. If you follow certain universal law and principles, you cannot not be successful. I always talk about jumping off my roof. I'm jumping off your roof. You're always going to go down. You're never going to go up, man. You're always going to come crashing to the ground. You're never going to go up. So a lot of these laws are the same way. Yeah, money eventually is going to be there. You can have money and not be successful. But if you're successful, the money's going to be there. It's coming. It's coming, man. You know. If I had a bill, okay, there's 78 people watching this live stream right now. If I had a company with 78 employees, you would say I was successful. Wouldn't you? But then, okay, remember the top 10 things, and then I just want to tell you that all this stuff, the people say the same things. Everybody couldn't be wrong. So Earl Nightingale, if you've never read the little book he's got, it's called The Strangest Secret. And he's saying that our thoughts shape our reality. So you heard that, thoughts become things. Well, this is from Earl Nightingale from a long time ago, really from Napoleon Hill and even before him. Okay, it says, setting clear goals are crucial for achieving success. Okay, he says people without goals often drift through life without any direction, backing into jobs, backing into relationships. You know, I don't want to depend on luck, man. But he says, take responsibility for your actions. Like attracts like. Remember the law of attraction? He says, by developing the right mindset, we can attract the people and circumstances we desire. This is powerful stuff, man, but people think, oh, it's not true. But it really is. It's the same thing when they talk about gratitude. When you cultivate a sense of gratitude, it enhances our outlook on life, man. And it says you can attract more positive success, more positivity and success. But if you always run around complaining at all time, you're going to attract that. He's talking about lifelong learning. He said invest in yourself, your knowledge and skills. Remember over in the top 10, it says learn a new skill. I said a long time ago, most of the people who watch me, you don't read. You're not taking any type of training or any self-improvement. You're not doing anything to improve your life, but then you want to sit around and wonder, oh, look at my situation. Why can't I get ahead? And then you looking at an example of somebody who's done all this stuff, man. I don't talk about it if I didn't do it. And you discredit me. You listen to the haters. That's why my supporters went down. My supporters went down because y'all believe that crap. You don't know him and you don't know me, but at least I'm showing you. I'm telling you about my life. Nobody knows me better than me. Those guys don't know me. They've never met me. They're making up stuff. But because you like to stay focused on somebody else's life instead of your own, you buy into that crap, man. I don't have anything to prove to anybody. I'm going to continue to live my best life, man. Every day, I'm getting closer to being the best version of myself. You couldn't walk a block in my shoes, man. I've overcome all that stuff. I'm successful by any stretch of the imagination, any definition. A lot of people couldn't make it, man. They didn't make it. My best friend, we should get high together. He's dead, man. He died at 62 years old. He couldn't overcome his addiction. And all the other stuff that's standing in his way. Because once you get over your addiction, now here comes all the other shit coming at you. You always overcoming something, man. But if you don't work on yourself constantly, consistently, to improve yourself, to put some insurance on your future self, you're not going to make it. You're not going to make it, man. You're going to hate people like me, which I'm just one of just literally a billion people probably who have overcome to live their best life. It's not just me. I don't even pay him any attention. Yeah, he said he said many of these sickos that make those videos about vloggers think they're on a righteous cause, but they're following themselves, sad people. Yeah, who are they? Anyway. Okay? Who are they to say what you should be doing over here and what you shouldn't be doing? Remember, keep the focus on somebody else. That way you won't look at me. Now, a lot of these guys, yeah, we need money to survive, obviously, in this world. But if you focus more on money than your health, guess what? You're going to have more money than health. You're going to be one of those guys that died young like that. Prematurely. Here comes Earl. Here comes Earl. He's going to spend every damn you got. See? Earl and my ex-wife, they went through all that money I gave her. And then she told my kids that I was the problem. See, Earl didn't get blamed for it. I got blamed for it. See, that's Earl. He benefits from your hard work and sacrifices. Takes credit for things you did, but he doesn't take any responsibility when shit gets wrong. The last communication I had with my ex-wife, I gave her $7,500. And I said, look, we're not going to be able to keep this house because you don't want me to have it and you don't want to go out and get a loan to take it out of my name. You're listening to your friends. They're telling you that that you can stay in this house and I'm going to have to pay for it. What universe are you living on? I gave her $7,500. I said, look, you need to go out and get you and these kids a place. $7,500. This is in 2011. That's a lot of money even today. Nope. She gave it to Earl and they went on the boat, wasted all that money. And then when the bank comes calling and putting that eviction sign on the door, now it's my fault. Okay? I'm sorry. Yeah, he said, I started with a thought and then put on paper, then put in motion. Yeah, it's not enough to just have your dreams and your goals in your head. It's not enough, certainly when you get older, because you're going to start forgetting. All you got to do, man, I'm going to tell you something. Just think of the one thing that you want the most out of this life. If you can you do it? If you can't do it, then you're going to join the 98% of saps, really, is what I call them. Just drifting around out here. But if you know exactly what you want, Napoleon Hill calls it a definite major purpose. Just put it on a 3x5 card. And whenever you get discouraged, just look at the card. Look at it when you wake up in the morning. Look at it during the day. Look at it before you go to sleep at night. And let it seep through that other mind of yours, that subconscious mind, that can do anything within reason. And pretty soon, you're going to be living your goal, man. It's irrefutable. It's as rigid as the law of gravity. I'm sitting here because of that. But y'all think, oh, who is Cal? He can't talk about this stuff. Yes, I can, because I'm living it right now. He said, that's true, Cal. We spend far too much time on attacking each other instead of focusing on ourselves. Absolutely. And your dream, Earl Nightingale said, take responsibility for your own life and actions. Why you worry about what I'm doing? Every minute you focus on me is one less minute you're going to focus on yourself. And them minutes add up over time. And pretty soon we'll be able to look at you. We can tell what you're thinking in your mind. Napoleon Hill said he can read your mind by looking at your actions, by looking at what you've manifested around you. This guy's just making those videos like that, man. They're bums. They haven't accumulated anything. I'm just telling you, man. That's why they make those videos. But here's a big one that he's talked about. Overcoming fear. There's people who haven't made it over here because they're afraid to get on a plane. They're afraid to fly. So, it says overcoming fear. It says confront and overcome fears which often hold us back from pursuing our dreams. There's people who are chomping at the bit to come over here, but in order to get to the Philippines, you can't walk to the Philippines. If you could drive to the Philippines, they've been here already. But you have to fly. You can't even take a cruise from America to the Philippines. You got to get on that plane, and they won't do it. So it's going to hold them back from pursuing their dreams. But, talk is cheap, man. Talk is cheap. And sometimes you got to take action, man. It says the importance of taking action consistently, not just when you feel like it or every now and then. Consistent, purposeful action, it says. It's necessary to turn your thoughts into reality. You can write all this shit down all you want. If you ain't taking a step towards it, you ain't got nothing coming. Armandino said that the greatest map in the world won't move you 1 inch. You got to take some action. You got to start taking baby steps towards your dreams and goals. But we think, if we can't have it all at once, the hell with it. Yeah, you got to write stuff down. Yeah, that people make up. That's what they do. They'll talk about you first. Your appearance, what you look like, what your woman looks like, your family. Then if that don't work, they start making up lies. This is an old, plan that haters use. He said, I got my ticket today, bro. I'll see you in the second week of February. See, that's what it takes. Now get on the plane and come on over there. Yeah, see? But if you truly believe, you're going to take action. If you truly believe in what it is you trying to do, you're going to take the action, man. That's what in Wake Up and Live, she said, act as if it were impossible to fail. What would you do if you knew that everything you attempted, you would succeed? Would you play in the NFL? What would you do? Would you run for presidency of the United States? What would you do if you knew that everything you attempted, you were going to succeed? She said that's the mindset you need to be successful, to reach your dreams. But we act as if we're going to fail. So we don't even try because we're afraid of failure. You're afraid to fail. So you don't do nothing. You sit there and get on your knees and pray. The lazy man's way to success. Yeah, what's that joke when the man fell in the hole and the boat came by? He says, "Oh, I'm waiting on God." The plane came by. "I'm waiting on God." And then the helicopter came by. "Oh, I'm waiting on God." He's still down there. And he said, "What's going on?" He said, "God sent you a boat. He sent you a plane. He sent you a damn helicopter." And that's what we do, man. We sit there and pray and get up and think some invisible force is going to do everything for you. Sorry. We're just having a discussion, man. That's all we do. I'm just having a conversation. This is stuff that a 62-year-old man should be able to talk about. It's not like I'm 22. I'm 62, man. I've lived, man, some years. I've gained some knowledge, man. I've learned from my mistakes. I can share what I've learned. That's all. Yeah, play the lottery and pray. That's what a guy told me one time. He said, if God is real, why do people go to the hospital when they get sick instead of go to church? And this isn't about religion. It's about taking action. That's all. Oh, okay. That's all I'm talking about. We're talking about taking action. Yeah, he said play the lottery and pray. But the one person out of the billion people who play the lottery, because he wins, they say, "Oh yeah, God answered my prayer." Yeah, we just have a conversation, man. We want to talk about stuff that grown men should be able to talk about. We know a little bit about this stuff. Earl and all that, and dying prematurely. You see, the man said, "Hey, I worked 10 years with the guy. He died at 65. You all got a story like that. The guy who made the lifestyle choice to be a drug dealer. He's rolling. He's balling out of control. Then all of a sudden, either they give him a life sentence or his competition mows him down. His life is over prematurely because of a lifestyle choice. That's the number one reason we're dying and getting taken out of the equation prematurely, ahead of time, man. Everybody's going to die. But who wants to die before you're supposed to? When things is going good. That's the reason we don't want to die. We don't want to think about dying because you know that life is going to go on without you. The party's going to go on without you. So you can't think of dying. So when people talk about Earl, you know it's true, man. You don't want him to benefit from all that hard work and sacrifice you done made. Just the thought of it raises your blood pressure, man. Ain't studying that old sorry-ass woman you left behind. We're talking about him over there watching that 80-inch screen TV you bought. Because you ain't getting nothing out of the house. You better not try to take nothing out of that house. The people are coming for you. The police took me to my house. You know all I got? I said, man, I just want my book collection. And the sorry son of a gun threw my books away. I said, let me get a few articles of clothing and my book collection that I spent $10,000 for. Books that aren't even in print anymore. And this old tired-ass Sally threw them in the garbage. See, I wasn't worried about that TV and that sofa and the refrigerator. I promise you, I just bought a side-by-side refrigerator. This is in 2009 because I left in 2009. The divorce wasn't final to 2011. Had the freezer in the bottom. The real fancy refrigerator. I wasn't worrying about him going in and out of that. I didn't want to take that. Give me the stuff that means the most to me. Well, we don't really know what happened to Jim. They said, his girlfriend said they found him in the bathtub. I thought that Marilyn said the bus stop. She said bathtub. I think Jim lived by himself. So by the time they found him, he might have lived with his son. It was too late. So I don't know. I'm not going to speak on it if I really don't know. But I do know they found him in his bathtub. Okay. Yeah, he came to the door wearing your suit. Nobody cares about the woman. We're just saying that, I had just got that convertible, maybe a year, it was maybe a year old, but, I kept it in pristine condition. My wife didn't care nothing about that convertible. She had a van for the daycare that we owned. It wasn't that, but the minute that we broke up, she got him behind the wheel. I had a PT Cruiser that I was letting my son drive, which I raised him since he was 5 years old. I was letting him drive that, and I'm driving the convertible. Well, when we split up, I got the PT Cruiser back. I'm out running appointments like I always do, and I'm waiting for the woman to answer, and I'm just looking around, and I'll be damned if he don't come up the street, because he don't know me yet. I know him. He got the top down, the music booming in my convertible. You don't think that pissed me off? I ain't studying that woman. I don't really know, man. He was young, man. He was 60 years young. He had it all together. This guy was a go-getter, man. He was just like me. He worked in the insurance business, man, built him up a nice future. And he died. He just left the Philippines. November the 12th, he arrived back in Florida. And November 15th, he was dead. So it made me want to talk about this, man. We talk about it all the time. He said, Calvin, is Maryland going to cook a turkey? No. They don't really, you got to realize Thanksgiving is an American holiday. They don't, now if you go up in Angeles City and some places where you got a lot of expats, I'm pretty sure these expat groups, they're going to get together and have, bring some dishes, to celebrate Thanksgiving. But Philippines doesn't celebrate Thanksgiving. Yeah, it's cold-blooded, but women don't seem to mind doing stuff like that. They do it to you because they know she's sticking a needle in your eye, man. They'll do that stuff to piss you off, Yeah, I had that PT Cruiser, and it was almost new, almost brand new. The PT Cruiser was. I believe it was 2004, 2005. This is like 2009. Okay, I had a brand new convertible. Solara. Charcoal gray with a black top, a gray interior. Beautiful. With the booty on the back, because sometimes people don't have that booty. When they let the top down, you can still see the top. No, we had the boot, is what they call it, where you snap it around the back seat. It makes the car look so much better. Hey, yeah, thank you, man. We wasn't the best of friends, guys, but we spent time together. We were getting to know each other. We had a lot in common. We were becoming fast friends. So that's why it affected me. It wasn't like we grew up together or nothing, But when you meet somebody like him, like when I meet a lot of you guys, it's like I know you already. And then he says, man, you're the reason I came to the Philippines. You develop a bond. Y'all think I'm joking? Look, man, I'm gonna show you something. Okay. Jim, I'm going to keep this. I'm never going to get rid of this. Here it is, James Crane. Y'all can't see it, can you? He sent me these pictures, but this email was November 15th, the day he died. He said, Philippines was a fun time, especially the first couple of months while traveling there. That was November 15th at 2:57. He died a couple of hours later. But on November the 11th at 8:50 a.m., he says he was still in the Philippines. He said, tomorrow I'm going back home for Christmas. See you next year. Take care of yourself. Keep all of us entertained and informed. Remember, I tell you that some people didn't make it today. That probably deserve to be here more than us. How many of y'all say, I'll see you next year, I'll see you tomorrow, the next week? It never comes, man. This guy said, see you next year. It never came, man. He never in his wildest dreams thought that he was going to be dead. And neither do you. John the same way. But the one thing him and John had in common, they both smoked. Yeah, they both smoked. Okay. All right, hold on. That's another winner, guys. Hold on. All right. The winner out there. Here, take the picture and stuff. Hold on, guys. That's the winner. Shout out to Roger Walker. He told me to spin the wheel 5 times last night. And see, I met Roger over here. We got a picture on my community page. Roger's a good guy from Alabama. It's like we knew each other the first time we met. We met in Dumagetti at the Starbucks. That's where we met. And we had a good talk. He said, that long plane ride, maybe. I don't know, but, you always think about what if. Hindsight's always 2020. If he'd have stayed in the Philippines, at least if he'd have had that medical emergency, somebody would have been around him to call, because when something like that happens, time is of the essence, man. But he was by himself. So by the time they found him, it was too late. He was dead. Yeah, he was dead. But yeah, him and John smoked. That's smoking, man. I don't know what's worse, drinking or smoking. Probably smoking. And John had already had a heart attack, some years previous. But it was so long ago, he figured, oh, I'm well. And he had been over here for all those years. He wasn't going to the doctor. He claimed he went to the doctor one time because, he went with the girl. Because he claimed he split her wide open when they had sex. John, he was funny. He said, yeah, Cal, I had to take her to the doctor because I split her wide open. So he called himself Big John. Right, John. But later on, his girlfriend's telling Merlin he couldn't do nothing because he's on all the medications. But anyway, you're welcome, Roger. I appreciate you, man. Yeah, John claimed he split the woman wide open when they had sex. Because, see, here's what I'm trying to tell you guys. They'll tell us one thing, everything we want to hear. But a lot of times it's not the truth. She told John she was a virgin, but she told Merlin she wasn't a virgin. Because they know that's what we want to hear. As if that puts any more value on them. I think that's overrated as far as I'm concerned. Because I had a virgin over here in 2010. It was messy, man. I don't want another virgin. And, I'm happy with what I got. Y'all can have that stuff. I told y'all the story. We had to end up leaving the hotel early. And, she don't know how to do nothing, and you got to teach him everything. And, it just takes too long. I don't have the patience, man. Yeah, John was funny. Yeah, it was James. That was him. He said, I just learned that James, an expert at the meet and greet with Rich and Chang, passed away. Damn, I just talked to him a while back. That was the James. He went, okay, he picked us up at the bus terminal in Bacolod, took us to the hotel. I said Airbnb, I said condos. We were staying at the El Fisher. And on the way, we stopped and got something to eat. So we were talking. I'm saying, yeah, we're going to have our meet and greet in Manila. He made the reservations right then and there for him and his girlfriend. He ended up going. Remember, I didn't go because of the weather, but they went ahead and went. That was him. Yeah, it's just messy, man. And then, you're like, it was just, I don't know. Yeah, so I'm telling you that he was a good guy, man. This guy was no joke, man. If you see his house and his cars and stuff, he was on the money, man. He took care of business back in America. He was selling annuities and stuff like that, man. He made a lot of money. He earned a lot of money, man. He came over here and bought a car cash. Brand new Toyota Vios. Is that how you pronounce it? The guy was on top of things, man. But, evidently, I don't think he was exercising, though. I know he was walking, he was telling me. Yeah, that was him. Raymond. That was him. But yeah, John was funny, man. So that's two guys right there in my 5 years being on YouTube. That's two guys right there that died prematurely. John was a millionaire when he died. I saw it with my own eyes. That's how close me and John had become. He opened up his mutual fund account and showed me, well, he never closed it. John kept his computer open. He had a computer and he had his phone. And he just kept his computer open to that mutual fund account and he'd see it go up and down. All that, he never cut it off. But he never would. He never would spend it. He took some out to buy that car he bought when he died. Yeah, live life to the fullest and put some insurance on your future life. Put away a few extra dollars, man. You ain't got to spend it all. Yeah, Cal Deadman. So that's three, really. Just in this group of men. This small group, this is a small sample, man. Three, really four. Remember the guy who came over here and was helping the people in Manila and something happened? Did he have a brain aneurysm or something in his heart? Remember when I told y'all to help with his GoFundMe? That's four. Mark Thornton is five. Man, these guys are dropping. Gerard, Black in the Philippines, was only 67 or 68 when he died. Something like that. That's young, man. Come on, guys. I'm not just on here talking. And you're going to be the same way if you don't take care of yourself. He said, just order a second triple OG smoked turkey. The first 8 pounds received last week is almost gone. Damn. Yeah, but I know my brother-in-law before he died, and hell, he was in his 40s when he died. He used to deep fry. This first time I ever had a deep fried turkey. Because everybody was buying the deep fries, the little fryers that sat down on the floor and, you had the tank over there and you put the pot there. We used to use it for wings. But he used it for a turkey. It was delicious. Hey, what's up? Yeah, he never closed the computer. He kept it on there. John was a savvy investor, man. And he, because he started so long ago, he had him and his brothers had bought had invested in some oil fields, years and years ago. John said like 30 years ago. And they started out paying good. Then they slowed down. In his, he was getting $900 a month when I first met him. But when he died, he was earning $7,000 a month just from that. That ain't including his mutual funds. John wasn't no joke, but he died, man. He said, I want to try that Popeyes Cajun turkey. Now, I tried the Popeyes here in Manila, in Newport City. It's not like the Popeyes. When I think of Popeyes, I think of Memphis, Tennessee. I don't know why. And then when I think of churches, I think of Cincinnati, Ohio. But it's nothing like the Popeyes in the States. Because we rented a condo right next to the Popeyes. And that's why I did it. I was like, wow, we got a Popeyes right next door. Okay. It's not the same. It's not the same. I gotta have my chicken's gotta be hot, man. I gotta be blowing it off. I gotta be, when I'm eating it, it can't be, I don't even think it's lukewarm here. Hey, what's up, Jamar? Wow, from the DR, man. That's where you going, Rashad. You ought to hook up with him. He said, Unc, I'm back on. I'm flipping back and forth between the fights. I know you're missing that soul food cooking. Absolutely. You can say what you want about Big Shirley. She's going to cook up a storm for Thanksgiving. What are you talking about, man? My ex-wife was one of the best cooks I've ever been around. She was so good, she used to earn money on the weekends. I mean, her dressing and just everything she made I'm talking about, was top of the line, man. Yeah, no biscuits. They didn't have the biscuits. He said, I just went to Church's Chicken today. Yeah, see, that's chicken to me. And the old KFC, okay? Not this KFC now. I'm talking about in the 70s, man. When KFC was KFC. It was the best chicken on the planet. Before John Y. Brown Jr. bought it and took it worldwide. When it was Kentucky Fried Chicken. My grandmother used to buy us a bucket, man. It would have the whole house lit up, man. And she would get coleslaw and mashed potatoes and gravy. Man, it's a trip, man. It's just so different now. Now, I don't remember. Now, when I went to Chicago, Harold's Chicken was good. But it's sort of like Indies in Louisville, Kentucky. Well, I gotta have he said, Unc, you've seen the trending topic. You eat greens with smoked turkey necks, ham hocks. Like I said, my ex-American wife was the best cook I've ever been around. But then my Filipino wife could cook, man. And she's earning money in America right now. What? Mom, yeah, the chicken breast, hon. Yeah, he said, by the way, Denny's now takes food stamps. Oh, wow. And Burger King, McDonald's, calls this one, and then I'm going to eat the other one for dinner. That's the thing about when I was stationed in Memphis. That's one thing down south. The food is just unbelievable. And see, what happened was I knew a lot of the civilians on the Naval Air Station. They worked in the cafeteria in different places. I used to hang out with them. Hell, they take me home, man. And they mothers and wives would cook, man. You talking about some good food. Yeah, well, KFC nowhere is good anymore. I'm talking about the real Kentucky Fried Chicken. It wasn't KFC then. It was Kentucky Fried Chicken. The Colonel was still in control. with that white suit. Well, see, hell, everybody in the hood. I remember a long time ago when we used to get food stamps. You could go to some stores where they would take food stamps for anything. Beer. We had a store. His real name was Cecil Payne. He was an ex-boxer back in the day, but he was a white guy, so we called him Whitey. And that was the name. You know, the name of his store was Cecil Payne's, but we called it Whitey's because he was the only white guy in the whole community. Well, he would take food stamps for anything, give you credit. And I think it's because he felt guilty. You know, in 1968, there was a riot. You know, when Martin Luther King died, a lot of riots around the country. Well, there was a riot in Louisville, Kentucky, where somebody ran up in his store. They were looting, and Whitey shot a 12-year-old in the back and killed him. And I don't know if that had anything to do with how he treated black people after that, but he was like everybody's brother then, really. I mean, I used to go over there. I'm talking about I was a grown-ass man, but I wasn't, being responsible at the time. Before my mother died, my mother would give me a note. I'm a grown-ass man. I'm in my late 20s because my mother died when I was 30. She'd give me a note. Take this over Whitey's. It'll have a 6-pack of Sterling, a pack of Pall Mall Gold, maybe a loaf of bread, a dozen eggs. I'm a grown-ass man doing that. But Whitey would take it, and he had like a photographic memory. You couldn't go back in there after that without paying him. Yeah, it really did. It really did. Because Kentucky Fried Chicken was the real deal. But this shit now, man. One of the, I hardly eat fast food. If I do, it's Jollibee spicy chicken. But that's not really the best food over here. I very seldom eat fast food. I like Abaca Bake Shop in Cebu, Morning Glory Grill in Cebu. I like Cafe Racer in Dumaguete. I like there's another one. I think it's Casablanca in Dumaguete. They got good food. It's usually a sit down place. Yeah, I don't like it. That's what I'm saying. All the additives and stuff. You have to be real careful. Remember, lifestyle choices is what kills us. So if you got poor diet and nutrition, a lot of guys over here, man, they're eating out all the time. It couldn't be good for you, man. It couldn't be good for you, man. We very seldom eat out. Now we'll be in Manila next week. Of course, we're gonna eat out. Unless I go with my buddy, well, hell, if I go with my buddy Cornelius Mack's house, they eat out all the time. It couldn't be good for you. But we very seldom eat out here. I'll buy my chicken breasts, chicken wings, or whatever it is I want to eat. And hell, I have Merlin cook it up, or her mother. Because I'm funny about who fixes my food, man. When you hungry, that's why they say don't never get too hungry, too thirsty, too tired. You're gonna mess up. You're gonna make some messed up decisions. But I'm funny about who touches my food, man, because you see some crazy stuff, man. You see the guy in Detroit, they gave him 4 years for spitting on people's pizza, and he thought it was funny. They're taking videos of it, and he's hawking and spitting on people's pizza, and they turned him in and serving it to people at the Detroit Tigers game. And all he got was 4 years. Man, he should gave him 20 years, man. I got to agree with you on this, man. I hardly eat out, man. He said all the fast food chicken chains, in the USA suck now. But the fried chicken served at McDonald's in Thailand was off the chain. I eat breakfast at the McDonald's. We just got different standards, man. Y'all saw on the news the other day where the guy, let me see, where was this? Was it New York? Or somewhere where he's out in back of the restaurant. He's breaking the ribs on the ground. They're frozen. So he's breaking them on the ground. And it was somebody from another apartment that was looking down that was taking the film. And they turned him in. They shut the restaurant down and everything. And got him for rodents and all kinds of stuff. See, you got to be careful. We buy deli over here, Ryan. It's not hard to eat better in the Philippines. If you give it some effort. Remember, he says the importance of taking action consistently. Okay, and then no, he says the importance of taking action consistent, purposeful action is necessary to turn thoughts into reality. Well, if you deliberately, want to eat better, you can do it. But you got to be deliberate about it. You got to go out there because the guy says, man, confident voice speaks. He said, Cal, no matter what I tell my girlfriend, she won't put any green vegetables on my plate. I said, man, you got to go to the market with her because they're not used to that. Man, some of the meals over here are so bland. I'm not saying it's not good, but the color. You're going to have either fish, chicken, and rice. You're not going to have, in my house every day, there's green beans, okra, potatoes, carrots. It's color in there. But I told him, man, go to the market with her. Show her what you want. He said, yeah, damn. But you don't know what they're doing to your food. You got to be careful, back in the civil rights days, and I'm thinking to myself, why would you even want to eat in this place? They don't want you there. I'll be like, nah, it's okay. I'm going to go down to Shirley Mays and get my food. I'm not trying to sit here and eat, knowing good and well you done spit in it and, whatever y'all do. You don't want me there. So, food is a whole different story, man. If you caught messing with somebody's food, you need to go to prison. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, I can't deal with the sweet spaghetti. Now, I'm trying to think. We went to a place, I want to say, it was either in Cebu or it was in Bacolod. And for the first time, Maryland had real, spaghetti how we eat it. Oh, it was so delicious. I'm trying to think where we were. But it was so good. It wasn't the spaghetti like that they make. Yeah, I don't have a problem with the food here. He says if you're willing to pay for it, you can pretty much have any food you want there. People always say, oh, it's the food in the Philippines. They're talking about the street food. It's not as lively and colorful and delicious as some of these other places. But as far as restaurant choices, they're not going to have as many as Thailand because they don't get as many people. But there's enough here that food is not going to be your problem here. There's a lot of things that are going to be your problem, but food is not. Certainly if you live in one of the expat alleys. It's just not, man. They've got Texas Roadhouse over here now. Chili's is over here is good. Denny's is good. Chili's has the best burger. I used to think it was Texas Roadhouse, but no, their burger is 10 times better. It's more juicier and more tender. Yeah, that sweet spaghetti, man. I gotta be hungry to eat it. It's been a long time since I've eaten it. But my favorite, and I acquired a taste for this, is that macaroni salad over here that they make. The first time I saw it, I got sick, man. It was in 2009. I was like, there's no way I can eat macaroni like that. They had, it was sweet. They make it up. It's almost like tastes like ice cream if it get cold enough. But I just saw the ingredients they was putting in. I was like, I don't want that. And for some reason, I think it's 2009. I don't think I tasted that till maybe a year or two later. And they bought it and said, here, just try it. It was cold. It was delicious. And Maryland makes some of the best. Yeah, the macaroni salad. Yeah, I can eat it now. I had to acquire the taste though. But man, it was horrible. I couldn't think of eating it at first. He said, my girl just cooks things in the coconut milk, and I guess I'll never understand the methods, ingredients, or tactics behind it. But, it gives it that texture. Maryland makes something called, and this is one of my favorites too, it's called Bico Express. Now, it's spicy, but it's, you can make it with beef, you can make it with chicken, you can make it with pork, but then it's got green beans and different ingredients. Coconut milk is like the base. It's delicious, man. Yeah, but I don't think it's that serious though. You know, he said, Calvin, all the vloggers need to do is get together. See, that's the problem. We're not going to get together and invest 5,000 for a lawyer to sue. One good case of libel from the troll machine publishing content is all it would take to send the message. I think Mike Philippine Retirement's done that already. He paid, I think he said what was it? What was it? 60, was it 60,000 did he say? To sue that one guy that was making all them videos about him. Made the same, same guy was making videos about me. And Mike scared him. He took out all the videos he made about Mike because they're cowards, man. We don't pay them any attention. And neither should you. They don't have any information. 99.9% of you guys, you don't send money to bloggers anyway, not to men bloggers. You don't support us and all that stuff. You give that to the women. You don't see them people making videos about women, these Filipino bloggers over here, do you? But they throw that stuff out there expecting some of it to stick. Y'all believe it because y'all believe anything. You're quick to believe the negative about somebody. I don't pay that stuff any attention. I wouldn't even know it's out there. It doesn't come across my feed until one of y'all send it to me. And I'll be like, man, don't send me that stuff. Oh, absolutely they do. Yeah. It's like Michael Beecher Life said, if you got money, you can get just about anything you want. The thing here, we don't have all those food choices. Like if you go to Patio, man, and you go down on Beach Road, and you walk in there, every place is a food choice. Indian food, Thai food, American food, Italian food. You got those food choices, but they have to build that tourism infrastructure. If you're talking about, man, at one time, Thailand was flexing 40 million tourists coming through there, man. You gotta prepare the way for them, or they're not coming back. The Philippines doesn't need all that. But you're not going to have any problems with food. I mean, really. He said, what do you recommend for back or joint problems? I'm someone who is diabetic type 2. I don't know, man. That's a good question for your doctor. Do you drink a lot of water? Do you stretch? Because you'll be shocked at the miracle just working out a brisk walk would do for you. But a lot of times, man, the experts said no exercise at all. Be honest, man. You guys aren't working out, man, on a consistent basis. So how you expect to get better? What are you doing for your future life? Because the majority of us watching, we're going to live 10 years. We'll be alive 10 years from now. So what are you doing to ensure that in 10 years your life is going to be, you know, improved? Yeah, I never do this. And I tell Marilyn don't do it. I never uh, I never do that. He said T. Marsh agreed. Whenever I do eat out here in the US, I select restaurants where I can see them prepare the food. Yeah, you gotta be careful, man. You know, when you're eating out. Well, I'm pretty sure it wouldn't hurt, but you know that yoga, man, is not as easy as it sounds. Just trying to sit in the basic position, hell, is hard for me. And I work out more than most my age. He says, I've been here in Pagansanan for months now. Great supermarkets in the area. I buy fresh vegetables and meat daily. My wife for 25 years, she knows how I like my food cooked. Yeah, healthy choices. Exactly. I don't have any problems with food. When I hear people saying that, I know what they're talking about. You know, when you go to places like Vietnam and Thailand, you see all these nice street vendors and stuff. But I tell you what, I wasn't going to eat any of them damn crickets over there in Thailand where the man walk around scorpions, crickets, ants, all kind of stuff. I'm like, okay, now, hold on. Y'all going overboard now. Okay? I'm not eating that. All these other food choices y'all got, but the Thai people, they eat it. And then he'll have the spices there. But Mr. Lee, stop the man. Are you doing it, Rayshard? Graphics. Now, he said pig blood mixed with cherry Kool-Aid and hot sauce. Well, they've got something over here called Ginawan, I think it's called. It's pig's blood, and if they don't tell you it's pig's blood and you just eat it, it's delicious. But if they tell you it's pig's blood, your imagination is going to start working. Yeah, all this stuff. Same thing in Thailand. He's got a whole big cart, and the stuff's hanging up there. Scorpions, all kinds of stuff, different things up there. Yeah. Yeah, scorpions. Denaguan, yeah. It's good, man. But you can't eat everybody. It's just like you can't eat everybody's chitlins. You can't eat everybody's denaguan. Because some of it isn't as clean as it should be. No, it was just they were fried. And then you had you had like garlic, spices, and different spices, hot spices, where you buy whatever you're going to buy and he'll give it to you in a little bitty, like, little plastic container. Sort of like what they do over here with quack quack. Those deep fried duck eggs, which are good, by the way. And they got like 5 or 6 different sauces there. Sweet and sour, sweet, spicy. Yeah, it's really delicious. I mean, it really is. Some of the best denaguan I ever had was in Sikihor, where we used to work out. See, they had like a calendaria, and me and Merlin would go early when, before anybody gets there, when the food is fresh. And they had good food, man. You could get a whole meal, for 60, 65 pesos. You'd be out of there. But yeah, some of the best I've ever tasted. He said they eat dogs in Vietnam. I didn't see one stray dog running around like they do in the Philippines. Well, it's not really a myth, okay, because everybody here, the masses don't eat dogs here. But up in the mountains, they do. And when I was living in Zamboanga, the reason I know, because this guy was weird, though. But, He was still in his right mind, but he was weird. And he told me, he said, yeah, I've eaten dogs. We eat dogs all the time up in the mountains. He said it something about they got a belief that because it's cold up there, that it'll warm you up, and they'll do it like, here they need, whenever they drink, they need something like a snack to go along with it. And he said, yeah, sometimes we'll eat a dog. And he ate my wife's family's dog. He was drunk one day and killed the dog and ate it. But the masses here don't eat dogs. He said, yeah, you have to be careful with street food. You have to watch them cook the food in front of you. There's a great barbecue chicken cart around the corner. But one thing I would suggest if you decide to do that is make sure they cook it all the way. Well done. 50% of Filipino adults have that worm uh, because from eating uncooked meat. I mean, the meat isn't even cooked. The lines be so long, they'll turn it over a few times and it's done. They'll stick it in their sauce and be done with it. I'll be like, nah, I'll be standing out to the side. Look, man, you need to cook that stuff. I ain't in no hurry. But yeah, oh, it's good. Quick, quick. And they got a lot of stuff that they sell like that on them little carts like that, where they deep fry it right in front of you. And it comes out piping hot, man. They have that breading on top of it. It's just like a deep fried boiled egg is what it tastes like, but it's a duck egg. They call it quick quick. Yeah, he said the masses don't eat dogs in Vietnam either. Whoever wrote that, of course, some do. Yeah, same over here. The masses don't eat dogs. It's something that uh, we've conjured up in our heads that they do. But the thing is, just like we may talk about people for eating dogs, people in India, they look at us crazy for eating cows. He said, you can see dog meat on YouTube. He said, they eat dogs in Mexico too. I never saw one dog when I was there for a week for spring break. No, we don't eat peg peg. I'm sorry. You know what peg peg is, don't you? That's for the poorest of the poor people, man. Why would I eat peg peg? That's food that they throw in the garbage at Jollibee and Chowking and all of that. And then the manager sells it by the kilo at the end of the night to certain people. Then they'll go through, take the chicken off the bone or whatever it is, clean it, and then recook it in like a sauce. And then they'll pour it on top of the rice. That's peg peg. I don't eat that stuff. I would never try to eat it. That's the reason why a lot of places you got to be careful. I've eaten at carinderias all the time. We used to have a carinderia right across the street from us when we lived in Malawi. But I would make sure that they were bringing that stuff out fresh. I'd eat the white beans and just different things, but peg peg, no, you got to know what peg peg is. Nobody's going to eat that. No, I don't eat balut. Uh, I've only tried the juice before. It was so terrible, but I mean, I'm not going to knock it. It's a tradition. He said, cow, no tie, crickets. It wasn't just crickets. It was all kind of stuff. I can't eat that Filipino rotten duck chicken eggs. No. Balut, yeah. He said, quail eggs are hella delicious. A lot of this stuff is, uh, cultural stuff. That's why I don't talk about it. I don't make fun of it. It's cultural. You know, no, I'm not. I'm never gonna try that. John, you're supposed to eat it when it's hot. You're supposed to eat it at night and when you drink it. I don't drink. Johnny got 2 eggs when he was drunk. He did on the live stream, and I just tasted a little bit of the juice, man, and it was enough for me. And I won't do it. Me and Marilyn, we were waiting on the ferry to come back over here to San Carlos. We were in Toledo City, Cebu. And I told her, I said, and it's on my short. I made a short out of it. I said, buy a balloon and open it up and let my viewers see what it looked like. Man, that damn chicken was about 3 inches big. And I knew then I would never eat one. But I'm not going to talk about it. They eat it. They say it's an aphrodisiac. But it's cultural, man. It's just like we eat chitlins and all that crazy stuff. We be eating pig feet and what else we eat? That's crazy. And other people be like, man, you eat that stuff? But we ate everything from the pig. I'm sorry, man. We didn't have it like that. We might come, and you talk about a little kid, he's coming home from school, he's hungry, and your mother's got some pig ears and potatoes. You better learn how to eat that damn pig ear so you put a lot of hot sauce on it. We ate pig ears, pigtails, pig feet, all kind of stuff, man. Just all that crazy stuff we used to eat. You know, hell, bologna was really good. Yeah, pig ears. They were crunchy. Excuse me, crunchy. We had all that stuff, man. You either gonna eat it, but most of the time, we had a good meal waiting. But sometimes it'd be some liver, that beef liver, man. It had that old wild taste to it. I mean, even today, I can eat chicken liver if you cook it right. Uh, yeah, Marilyn, yeah, she brought it out. She ate one, but the other one, man, that damn thing, man. I said, how in the world are y'all eating that? But we eat all kind of stuff. Yeah, pig ears, all kind of stuff. My mother used to eat sardines. I didn't eat sardines, but my mother would. I couldn't eat that stuff. But it's all kind of stuff we used to eat. And people would be like, man, I don't eat that stuff. Hog mogs, whatever a hog mog is. Because you put hog mogs in with the chitlins to stretch the chitlins so you can feed more people. But what the hell is a hog mog? Yeah, beans and cornbread, but hell, that was good. I didn't appreciate beans and cornbread till later on, but you put salt, because I like my beans, with, salt and pepper and onions and cut up some tomatoes. But uh, that other stuff, my mother used to eat like beets. My mother would eat beets. She would buy the beets, cut them up, and have them soak in vinegar and, let them get, I guess, done. And she would eat them like that, right? She'd be watching TV, eating them like that, like it was an apple or something. Yeah, hog maw. What the hell is a hog maw? I don't know what a hog maw is. Now here, he said eggs and pig brains. And see, here they eat that, but they pig brains, they call it, what do they call that? Because it's sissig. It's the pig brain. And mostly part of the pig face and all that. They chop it up real. But that's what it is. Now ham hocks is good though. Yeah, neck bones and see over here they eat chicken heads. I don't eat chicken heads and chicken feet. Um, we didn't eat stuff like that. But neck bones, yeah, neck bones. Yeah, I don't know what a hog mog is though. Yeah, sissy. That's pig brains over here. And they cut it up. Chicken feet. Yeah, they eat chicken feet over here. They like it. There's not enough meat on it for me. I tried it before. But beets, yeah, beets is good. My mother used to eat them beets, man, like they were going out of style. I didn't used to eat squash, but now it's one of my favorites. You know, chicken head. Yeah, yeah. He said, I heard of hog maws, but never knew what it was. Don't forget the liver pudding. Yeah, that I hated that. But them damn hog maws, man, they put that in there to stretch the chillings, and you would know because the chillings were skinny and kind of uh, tender, but them hog maws was kind of rough. But we ate all kind of crazy stuff like that, man. And people would come over there. Now they eat chitlins over here. They just eat them different. If you have your own pig and you let like one of the family members do the lechon, well, they're gonna cut all the insides out first, but they don't throw it away. They cook it. They make dinner guan, and then they cut up the liver. They cut up all that stuff, and they make the chitlins and everything, and they make a they fry it. They boil it and fry it and do something with it. They don't throw it away. Merlin's 19 years younger than me. And we have one child together, but we have three that we're taking care of. She had two daughters when I met her. But yeah, Merlin's 19, almost 19 years exactly, which is good enough for me. I could double that, man. Trust me, if I wanted to. You know, people know me here. I don't hold on. I don't I don't look at these young women in the eye. You know, they know Sunshine Shoulders and St. Carlos City. I don't want to get any trouble. But yeah, 19 is that's good enough for me, man. Cause really, uh, I really can't handle it. I mean, it looks good, but I'm just being honest, man. I can't really, I can't really deal with it for real. And you know, Maryland's more uh, patient with me. You know, them young girls they want it back to back to back. I just can't do it. I'm not trying to do it. I'm not trying to hurt myself. Remember, dealing with a younger woman is a lifestyle choice. If you want to deal with a woman half your age, okay, it's a lifestyle choice. And poor lifestyle choices is the reason we die prematurely. Yeah, my mother she would uh, cook hers in milk and she would take them out of the shell. It's oyster casserole is what she would make. It was delicious. But she would only make that for Thanksgiving. Now ain't no soaking in no vinegar. They would be up all night cleaning them. Now that's another thing. See, it's only three people's chitlins I've ever eaten. My mother's, my oldest sister, and my American wife. Nobody else. I don't care. Well, we used to have a restaurant called Irma's, with soul food restaurant right there on 26th and Broadway. Before she died, I mean, she just had the best soul food. I would eat anything out of there. But once she died and her sons and daughters took over, I didn't do it. Yeah, I don't look at them because they know me. I went to have my tickets printed off yesterday, and they got you got the printing place over here inside the mall, and then they got these, vendors here, two chicks that hey, Sunshine Shoulders, how you doing? Waving, all happy and stuff. I just said, hey, and went on in there because, I just don't do it, man. Uh, I don't want to, I don't want to cause myself any problems, man, and, but they're here if if that's what you like. But hell, 19 years younger than me, I'll take that. Certainly better than uh the same age. I'm Facebook friends with a lot of the women I went to high school with. No, thank you. Okay. He said when I was in China, I had a boss who was American. He said he went out with coworkers and ate food, and after the third serving, he asked what it was and was told it was dog. He said it was too late. But it happens a lot of times over here. You'll eat something, like I said, the dinner guan. If they don't tell you what it is, you won't know it's pig's blood. It's just so delicious if they make it right. I don't care what you eat it with. It's really, really good. And then they'll tell you it's pig's blood, and you're like, do I want to eat this again? And Maryland will tell you, don't eat anybody's dinner guan. He said, we saw the one on you walked, that walked up on you a few weeks ago. Yeah, that was a dangerous situation right there. Because I'm still a man. But you see what I did? I kept going. I don't know. You see, they know me. I don't know them. I see so many different people, but it's only one of me. So they see me all the time walking around different things, making videos and stuff. And I saw him. I just said, hey, how you doing? Well, hell, she got too damn friendly. Asked me where I was going. I'm like, well, let me get out of here. Because that's trouble right there. You hear me? Because they know you can change their life. They know that you can change their life literally overnight. But hey, thank y'all, man. My battery's low. I appreciate all your support, man, of Sunshine Shoulders. I'm going to be in Manila next week. I'm going to hook up with some people up there. Make some videos up there. Do some interviews. I'm going to start doing more interviews. Just to switch things up, because people don't want to improve their life. And, they think it's a personal choice. They think, well, we don't want to talk about it. If we're going to do it, we're going to do it. And it's too late, really, guys. A lot of y'all waiting too late when all you got to do is start today. Just put one foot in front of the other. That's all you really have to do. But we won't do that. I'm going to suggest that you put some insurance on your future self, because most of us watching now are going to be here 10 years from now. It's your decision. Am I going to be better? Am I going to be worse in 10 years? Am I going to have money? Am I going to be broke? What is it? It's your decision. Just put some insurance on it, man. That's all I'm saying. Take care, y'all.